Hey guys, how's it going? Oh, come on, you want to stay right there. Okay, so we are talking about the inner child healing. We are talking about the deep inner child healing. This is not the surface practice sort of things. This is the reason why we do inner child healing, is to get to the deep stuff. We know that the deep stuff is what is affecting us the worst. It's what's making us itch the worst. We don't know why we're itching. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we don't. But we have to deal with this, or it's going to keep us, creating problems. Whenever you scratch, you're not helping the problem. You're making it worse sometimes, making it get infected, making you have even worse issues than you did in the beginning. There's that re-traumatization of our own selves, So as with any other type of really shadow work or inner child healing, we're going in, we're revisiting our trauma, we're reframing the trauma, and we're remembering what we've learned from reframing the trauma, okay? And this is beyond just this, oh, I'm forgiving somebody on this thought level. You know what I mean? Sometimes we think we're healed. We think we're going to, think about, well, we're going to forgive, this and that. We tell ourselves we're going to forgive, but then we really don't. It's like, how the hell do you actually do this? And forgive somebody. And it's all about this going deeper, because the deeper something traumatized you, again, the deeper it's going to fuck you up, whether you're remembering it or not, whether it's completely subconscious, hidden, blocked out, etc. So that's why when we get to this level, it's like, you need to do some more work. It's, you need to figure something out. And again, it'll all happen in divine timing. Okay. But again, if you have a lot of darkness in your life, it's really important to kind of just allow yourself time to, go through this first step. It's all about gliding into it. Give yourself time. If you're going to do this work, make sure that you do have time and space and energy where you're safe, where you're supported, where you're allowed to express yourself, where you can get outside and get some fresh air, have a little walk, take care of yourself. Okay. Don't do this in the middle of your busy season at work, whenever unless it's coming to a head and you absolutely have to deal with it, then yeah, do it. But you want to give yourself, like I said, some time and space for this work, because when you get into this deeper stuff, this more traumatic stuff, it does really kind of affect you as you're going through it, because you're revisiting memories that are going to pop up more often because you're revisiting them, and then you're going to have to process this stuff and go through it and deal with it, and you're going to have to again, just revisit it and replay it in your mind and re-feel how you felt. That's the part about this side of the work that most people don't want to do. They don't want to go back and feel it again. If they do any work at all, if they're conscious enough of whatever their trauma was, and they are conscious enough to know that they have to do work on it, and this kind of work, and they get in there, then they're, again, probably only going to do what I did that first time, is just really be like, oh yeah, I'm going to deal with this on that surface level, on that thought level, and not get into the emotional level of it. And if you don't get to the emotional level, again, you're not going to stop that itch. You're not going to make it actually stop itching and have any physical changes, because you're not dealing with the inner, and it all starts within. Change starts within. Okay? So once you have at least identified trauma's coming up, you really just have to give yourself time and space, again, to dive into it, to revisit this. Again, you can do it from the outside looking in, like you're visiting the ghost of Christmas past or whatever, or you can visualize it as you are the child in that moment, whatever feels better for you. Some people may be traumatic or uncomfortable one certain way. It just all depends on you. Okay. And the same way for the actual healing part, but you just basically have to go in, and it's not like the answers are going to come to you right away, so you're going to know and then you can get out of there. It's like you're going to have to be there for a minute, make it like a meditation, and kind of just breathe through it. Notice where things are feeling. And that's how, if you can't even let's back up. If you can't even figure out where it's coming from, then just take a negative emotion that you've been feeling, or think of negative emotions and have them bubble up for you. And where do you feel it? Just do this meditation to let it pop up. Where do you feel your negative feelings? And then just think back to when the first time you ever remember having that negative type of feeling. And allow yourself to sit with that energy. Allow yourself to sit with that. Allow it to take some time to bubble up, okay? And then you just keep yourself open, even if it hurts, you just keep yourself open. You know that you're safe. You know that this is going to all work out for your best, highest good. And you just say, why do I feel this way? And again, it'll probably take you to a point in time in the past that was, related to this feeling. And then you'll say, well, why do I feel this way? And then you'll be transported, to this place where you'll be able to watch or feel, revisit what is going on for you, what was going on for you, what happened to you. And it's going to be traumatic. It's going to be sad. You're going to have to look things in the face that you might not have thought you ever would or wanted to, And the reason you have to go so deep into it and really feel it is because it's the emotions that need to be healed. So how do you know what you need? Because the next step is figuring out, what does this poor child need that she didn't get or that he didn't get at that time? This trauma, this child needed, obviously probably not to even have the trauma, but now that it did happen, what would you change about what happened to that child afterwards? And that usually is the easy part at that point, especially after you've already felt it and you've already revisited the trauma, you're one with it, you're remembering how you felt, you might have remembered details that you didn't think of before, and you're like, well, yeah, I didn't know I needed this, but now I know that I did need, a hug or somebody to tell me something or somebody to give me, a hot meal or this or that. And then you just sit there and reframe it and alter your reality, alter your perception. You're not going to actually go back and alter your reality, but what you're going to do is alter your perception by doing a visualization of giving yourself what you need and then following through, giving yourself what you need emotionally, giving yourself what you need physically. It's all up to you. It's all, you're capable of doing it. But it's like, this is what you really need, is what you needed as a child. And when you show up for yourself, again, you can do this as a parental figure, a sibling, an uncle, your loved one even. You can have them come in and hold you and speak to you and demonstrate things for you in your mind's eye. And you can hold on to this. You can remember this. If you ever and whenever you think of this trauma or any thoughts and expectations related to that, you will think differently about it after you reframe this and remember it. You can't just reframe it once and expect to be healed forever. You have to reframe it and then take that with you. That reframe, that's your new snapshot. That's your new picture of the past. And you hold on to that. And you now are a loved person. You now are a supported person. You now are taken care of. You now are giving, it seems so cheesy to say this, and this is, I think, also pushes people away, but it's very deep and it's very healing, and it gets you on this mode where you're not just doing some crazy affirmation that doesn't even make any sense, that it's about something that you think you want, that you don't even want, to try to, get the secret to work for you. No, this is deep. This is what you actually need to hear. These are the affirmations that we actually need to tell ourselves. These are the affirmations that, if not dealt with, they cause disease, they cause problems in your life. Again, the itch, it's all the same thing. Okay? This will help you to alter your beliefs, because we form a lot of beliefs, especially around the trauma. I deserve shit. I attract crazy. I attract people disrespecting me. I am someone who is frequently disrespected. These are all things, examples of ways that can go, and we can form these beliefs. And we can let those go just as fast as we got them, even if we've done years of solidifying them by recurrent trauma that we cause ourselves. It's all about doing this. Revisit, reframe, remember. And remember the good. You don't have to remember the bad every single time. You will, especially at first. And that's why, again, it might be painful. You might need to balance yourself out. You might need to go watch some happy movies, get around some happy people. Don't cover anything up. If you want to be alone, all of that sort of thing. But it's just about uncovering up this subconscious stuff. It's about being aware of these thoughts, these feelings, these expectations, these ways of life, that just a viewpoint of reality that we hold. Because as within, so without. What we hold in our mind's eye as a true expectation about life is how we will see it. Otherwise, you are crazy. The inner has to match the outer. And we get a lot of shame feelings come up with stuff like this. Oh, I wish I could have stopped it. I wish I didn't feel good at all because of that. because of that trauma. I wish this, or, I shouldn't have done that. I should have told somebody. I should have done, whatever. There's always this energy surrounding things like that. And it's like, I am bad. Again, on a basic level, as a child, they're not going to very intricately, hold on to stuff. It's just going to be, I am bad. I am less than. I have hard roads where other people may seem to not have hard roads. It's just these things that stick. You never really know. And it happens different for everybody. I'm an angry person. I'm dirty. I am forgetful. I'm disorganized. I am chaotic. Life is crazy. I always break things. Like, life is scary. Life is cold. Nobody's here for me. Everybody always leaves me alone. Your expectations, all of this. Again, your experience is not a choice, but how we process that is. And we have to be careful about that, because you're processing this regardless of whether you're ever consciously realizing what you've processed. That's the thing. Things happen. We tend to bury them. We tend to try to move away from these negativity situations, but then we don't even think about the processing. Some people just don't even process stuff. And so it's just like completely unprocessed. But you process it in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's very much denial. You know what I mean? That's a way of processing it. And it has its own repercussions as well. And a lot of that can be this running from our issues, running from everything, running from people. Nobody can get close. It's just we all have different ways. Again, we all have different beliefs that form. And the beliefs are a choice. We can change these. And that is what's so cool about learning this and getting empowered and actually doing it. It's when you prove to yourself that it's true and that it's real and that it actually works and that it's deep. And yeah, you may cry, but it's going to feel fucking amazing. You're going to feel a huge weight lifted off of your shoulders. Then you can help other people with this knowledge. You can help a lot of people by doing this. You can help this period of darkness end not only within yourself, but for other people as well. This is very important work. I highly commend you for being here, spending your time on self-improvement. It is something that not everybody does. Not everybody is called to do this at this moment. It's easier sometimes to just look away again and not have to deal with any of this. Because it's sad. It's sad when you realize you've been spending your whole life in this framework. That's not even true. But again, it's freeing on the other hand that you don't have to believe this anymore. You don't have to live that life. You don't have to attract those things anymore. It is a choice. That's empowering as fuck. You give yourself that praise that you needed. You give yourself that love, that attention that you needed. You tell yourself how worthy you are, how special you are, how amazing you are, how powerful you are, strong. And again, you tell yourself that everything you went through, it sucks. It fucking sucks. I'm here for you. I know how bad it was. In fact, you're the only person that can really know how bad it was for you. And that's why it's okay to talk to yourself. They say the geniuses talk to themselves, and this is why. Because it helps you get through your problems. You realize you are not your problems. You are not everything that's happened to you. You are beyond that. You are what's behind the thoughts, what's behind the feelings, what's behind the emotions. You are eternal life and presence. You are something that can never be fucked with. Okay? But you are here, and this is for a reason, and you chose to be here. Okay? And you are helping transmute a lot of negative energies within yourself, within your bloodline, within the world right now. And it's amazing. The work you're doing is amazing. This is the best therapy ever. This is get to the point. You know what I mean? It's a lot cheaper than therapy too. So please share with your friends. Thumbs up, thumbs down, stay notified. Hit the bell so you can stay notified of any more videos. Realize that this work matters for you. You are worth taking the time for this. Okay, you don't need to feel FOMO. Oh, sit down and do the work and take care of this. The rest of your life you will gain so much momentum with your growth and your healing and your personal life that you will just know that this was the best thing that you ever could have done, was to do this work. And then it's like, what else can I do this work on? Surely I have some more trauma I can work on, but it's not. It will end, and then you will just continue to do the inner child healing work and the shadow work as you go. If you happen to miss something, you go back in the past, and it's inner child healing work, even though it's something happened last week, and you do the shadow work. It's basically the same thing. You just flip the switch. How was my childhood? What is it? Where's this pain coming from? These are the questions we ask ourselves, and just allow ourselves to feel the answers. Where's this pain coming from? Why am I feeling this pain? What is this associated with? Where did I first feel this? Get in there and deal with it. Deal with the stuff you never dealt with. Deal with the stuff you dealt with incorrectly. It's not that hard, and it feels good in the long run, and it will bring you so much beauty and wonder and joy and happiness and everything into your life. Again, this is the way that we're all going to grow together, by hearing and learning each other's experiences and getting tips and tidbits here and there, and we're all figuring this out together. That's why it's a community. That's why it's amazing. And that's why we can also, there are collective beliefs and expectations that make up our society that, if we don't deal with, it's going to keep going on for these young ones. So this is not only for, the people around us, but for the people that are coming. It's very important. I mean, there's nothing more important than this work. Okay, that's why I changed my whole channel over from just a physical health thing, and a external, like environmental health and all of this stuff. This is deeper. It's deeper. It's all because it's all the microcosm and the macrocosm. So the environment and our health and everything is just a symbol of what's on the inner. Okay, and we all get fucked up. We all get fucked up somewhere. So don't be ashamed of your trauma. Don't try to act like it doesn't happen. Don't think that if your trauma is not as big as somebody else that it's less than. And don't think that being even just socially brainwashed and conditioned by society is not trauma in itself. There's a lot of anger going on about that. And, we got to let the anger go. We don't need to be angry. Everything's positive. We work through it. We allow ourselves to feel the anger, but we're not going to sit there and ruminate in it and, operate from that. And we're not operating from fear. We're operating out of, we're getting to our point and we're getting better and we're evolving and going forward and helping others. When you have that mentality of you're going to get better, you will get better. And this helps you to do that. Okay, so take it, flip it, see what different ways that you can see things. And again, just go in there and, when you're seeing it from a different perspective, you're going to know, like, oh, well, that's what she needed the whole time. And it's going to come to you when you might have never even thought that thought. Oh, well, I just needed a damn hug. I just needed somebody to tell me that they were there for me at that time. I had no idea. I was so alone. Like, I was so scared. There was way too much pressure, on myself for that. I couldn't go to anybody. I couldn't talk to anybody. Like, those are feelings that stick with you and they last and they will make you feel like, if that's what you feel, especially while you're growing up with this childhood trauma, then, it's sad because it does create more and more of the same types of experiences. That's why we have to get off of that frequency. That's what this is. It's getting off of that frequency. No longer are we going to operate from that same mind frame. We've evolved it. We're remembering this in a whole different way. Even if it, at the very least, you can always usually come back to, I learned how to forgive. I learned how to teach others how to forgive. I got something out of this, regardless of what it was. Even if it was the worst trauma, that's like, there's always the bottom line is that you can help others get through the same trauma. If it was that bad and there's literally nothing else, that you can take from it, that's it. But again, and you don't have to always like be that strong for other people and only see it in that mental way, because getting into the feelings and just being there for yourself. And this is going to be very counterintuitive for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't even comfortable, going to the mirror and looking in the mirror and saying, hey, like, I love you. Like, you've got to get comfortable talking to yourself and being with yourself and being around yourself. And that takes being alone sometimes, which is why it's good to be alone. It's good to have separation, whether it's twin flame separation or just being alone, like not hanging out with your friends one night, allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to heal, allowing yourself to just chill out, So I hope this has been good for you. This work, it is really difficult, and it should, if you're doing it correctly at this point, make you break down, and cry it out, let it have that release to know that, again, what you went through was real. Yes, you had to go through it. We can't erase that, but we can change how we deal with it, how we perceive it, and what we remember even about it. You can color over the lines a little bit of what happened, and it is kind of magic in a way, but it does work, and that's why it's not so cheesy. You know what I mean? It's not so, like, once you feel it, once you feel the power, you won't care if it's a little bit cheesy to be like, oh, baby girl. And that's one thing, like, even giving yourself a new nickname, because a lot of times we don't even think about it, but we give ourselves nicknames, and it's like, oh, you're a bad girl, you're a badass, you're tough, this and that. And it's like, well, when you talk to yourself, be aware, whenever you are, like I said, you can do it as your mom's telling you things and you're doing it through her or your dad or whoever else, or you can do it as yourself. And I've always just resonated with myself doing it. And so it's like when I'm telling myself, what I what I needed to hear at that moment when I was in that traumatic situation. I know best, because that's me. And I don't care if it's cheesy to be like, oh, I love you so much, or like go in the mirror and literally tell myself this stuff, in the bathroom in the middle of a busy day or something. Be like, look, I love you so much. I know life is hard. I know you're here and you shouldn't have had to go through that. And I totally get it, but you did, and you got to stay strong. You are so strong. Look how far you've come already. Anything you needed to hear. And again, the bottom line on that too comes down to, this all is going to make you stronger. You're going to be able to help so many people. This is part of your calling. This is part of who you are. This is part of why you came to earth. You are so special and you are owning it right now. And you're going to do beautiful things. And I'm always going to be here for you. Like, that's the energy. And I'm speaking this to you as that person. Again, you can think of it as somebody else. You can think of it as me coming in there, to your past and holding you and helping you through this. You can think of your twin flame. You can think of your mother, your father. Again, so many different ways to do this, and it might change with the situation. Okay, but you can remember it in a different way. And some people would be like, oh, well, yeah, that's just like, you're just trying to alter reality and be in denial. Well, you're not in denial because you're going in and you're dealing with it. All you're doing is filling that love cup up and telling yourself new things and having new thoughts and beliefs and expectations that arise that will get you different results. That's why, again, this is all lumped in together with the law of attraction. So hopefully, it's not too difficult for you to go through some of this stuff, and hopefully you can really find the value in it, do it continually. And again, it's only going to be hard for a certain period of time. Then you can do it drop of a hat all day, every day, deal with your shit as it comes almost. At least that's the goal. It's a practice, it's a mindful practice to like visit this and revisit it and stay with it and do it as a lifestyle, which is really cool. It's like you can always get better. So it's really kind of a fun and exciting way to live, like, how can I get better than yesterday? How can I get better than last year? How many much better days and better health and better results am I going to get from doing this? It's going to be a lot. You're going to have a lot of change coming through by doing this work, facing this work head on. And having the courage, it sounds silly again, just having the courage to be a little silly, the courage to talk to yourself, the courage to figure out what it is you truly needed, what you truly need now, and give it to yourself. This is not just inner child healing, but it goes into the outer child healing. And I think I'm going to put that in the next video. So stay tuned. I love you guys so much. I'm here for you. I have private coaching, unlimited direct coaching. I have private personal readings and consultations, any kind of support you need, I'm here for you. I also have, again, the whole video program, which you're watching right now. And like I said, anything on the prices is always going to be updated at KlaireeBerry.com. So thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.